Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeleine and this is Made with Books. And it has been a while since I put up a video. The last one was of the bookish Christmas tree that Daniel and I built. The reason for that is actually that we were traveling at the end of December until the middle of January, and we were 2 weeks in Vietnam because a friend of ours was getting married there. So that's why I was gone. I just thought I'd mention that. I did do some filming while I was in Vietnam and hope to put up a vlog sometime soon about that. I know I still am due the vlogs that I did while we were in Croatia and Bosnia and Montenegro last year, and those will come eventually. And yeah, I haven't wrapped up the last 2 months of 2019, November and December, so I may still do that, I'm not sure. I'll figure that out as I go. And I have some other wrap-ups that I didn't do for last year that I have filmed but haven't edited yet, and they are for August and September, and I mean it's been about 4 months now, so I don't know if anybody still cares about that. I don't know if I still can be bothered to edit those. I'll see what I do, and if I put them up, you know, watch them if you're still interested, and if not, obviously don't. Yeah, but anyway, so that's sort of what I've been up to. And I thought I'd kick off the new year with looking back at the old one, at 2019. I had done a reading goals video. You won't find it on my channel anymore. I've set it to private, but I still want to look back on most of those goals and see how I did. So I had a look at the video myself, and I've accomplished some of the goals and I have failed at others. I will also see if I want to do a separate video for my goals for 2020. It depends how much I will ramble with this first part, if it's going to be a separate video or not. But on we go. So 2019, I had set my Goodreads goal to 52, and I'm happy to say that I have surpassed this. I read 91 books. One book I read twice, so technically I read 90 different books, and one was a reread within the same year, which I first read for pleasure and then for work again later in the year. So I'm very happy with that. It actually is a lot less than I read the years before that, and I think partly that's due because I started this channel. Scripting videos, filming and editing takes time, everybody will tell you that, and it's true. But I don't mind, I really enjoy this and definitely want to continue. And another reason is that the 2 years before that I worked on a project that was focusing on children's books, so I read a lot of children's books for that project, and because of that I obviously read more books, because you know those are quicker reads usually. My second goal, I'm sorry to say, I failed at utterly, and that was to reduce my TBR. And for me, my TBR means the books that Daniel and I actually own. Now, I didn't mention the number we are at, and I can't give you the exact number, but if I were to guesstimate, it would sit around 800 or something like that. So we have a lot of books. We don't actually need to be acquiring new ones, but we do. And the same thing happened in 2019, and we actually had more books come into the household than I read, so as you can tell, quite a lot. I mean, some of the books that I read weren't from our TBR obviously, but still, yeah, so that didn't happen. The third goal I semi-accomplished, and that goal was to read 52 short stories. I read 31 short stories, which isn't a lot, but at least I surpassed, you know, the halfway mark, and hopefully we'll do better this year. The fourth goal was one that had completely slipped my mind, and then I watched it and I was like, yeah, we were gonna do that. Daniel and I were gonna recommend 3 book titles to each other at the beginning of every month, and then select one of them to be read in that month. Now, in January of 2019, Daniel did read one of the books I suggested to him, and I had started reading one that he had suggested to me, and then I got sidetracked and didn't finish it, so I have to pick it up sometime this year again. But then we kind of just stopped and completely forgot about it, so needless to say, I didn't accomplish this goal either. The fifth goal I had was to read 52 essays. Now, depends on how you want to interpret essays. I read at least 22 essays, but I also read at the end of the year The Secret Lives of Colors by Kezia St. Clair, which I enjoyed immensely. And those are short texts on, I think, almost 100 different colors. And you could definitely argue that those are sort of along the lines of short essays. So if you count that, then yes, I have accomplished the goal. So I'm not sure where to put myself with this one, really. The sixth goal, I am happy to say I did accomplish and surpassed by quite a bit, and that was to read 365 poems in 2019, so one poem on average for every day. And I did read roughly, I tried to keep track, I didn't always do it properly, but around 638 poems last year, which I'm very, very happy with. And I read some poetry collections, I read some sort of individual poems from anthologies I have, and something that also immensely helped me were some of the booktubers that have videos including poetry or videos that are only poems. And I will link to some of those down below. So Alan Morton does, every Friday he reads a poem by Robert William Service, who actually until last year I had never heard of. He's not very well known in Germany, I would say. Lukáš from Totally Pretentious did some really nice things with poetry. He read poems and then sort of put some music underneath, and I can highly recommend those. And Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading and Brian from Bookish, they did this poetry for beginners thing together, and they read some of the poetry, and I will link down below to at least one of their videos for each of them. Kelly did a fantastic reading of a Sylvia Plath poem that she learned, I think, by heart, so I'll link down below to that. And Rasmika from Rasmika Likes Books, I think is your channel name. I'm sorry, Rasmika, if I'm butchering this. She wrote a lot of her own poetry, which was fantastic. And so I'll link down below to some of her poetry as well. So I would highly encourage you to check that out. So that really helped in accomplishing that goal. My next goal was to read 12 non-fiction books, and I'm happy to say I accomplished this. I read 22 books altogether that were non-fiction. Some of them were non-fiction graphic novels, but nonetheless I accomplished that goal. And the eighth goal was to read at least one book from a South American author, since I hadn't read any in 2018. Now I did read at least a few in 2019, not that many, but I read 3 books from South America, 1 from Uruguay and 2 from Argentina, so I did meet that goal, and yeah, so I'm quite happy about that. And then if you recall, and I will link the video to it down below, I had a list of 30 books that I wanted to read until I turned 30, which I did last year in September. And I utterly failed at this. I have read 6 of the 30 books, so I didn't completely fail, but I did not read those 30 books. The 6 books I did read, however, were Die Räuber, or The Robbers by Friedrich Schiller from 1782, a German classic. Heinrich von Ofterding, or Henry von Ofterding, from 1802, another German classic that I absolutely hated, but still happy to have ticked off my list. Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe from 1592. I read the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, and Mark from Wordsworth Everywhere was a really great help with that, because we buddy read those 2, and I don't think I could have done it any other way, so that was great. And then I read Jacques the Fatalist by Denis Diderot, which was published posthumously, but he wrote it from 1765 to 1784. and I really enjoyed that French classic. I thought it was really good fun, and so I am going to continue with that list though. Goal number 10 was to continue putting up videos, since at the end of 2018, when I made the goals video, I had just started my channel, and I'm happy to say I did that for the most part. I had some longer breaks in between, but I'm still here and I'm still putting up videos and I'm very much enjoying it. So goal accomplished, I'd say. Goal 11 was to continue to know all of you better. Now, I don't know all of you better because there's a lot more people that subscribe to this channel than that comment on it, but I did get to know some of the people that are commenters better, and I also got to know quite a few booktubers better. So I very much enjoyed that, and I hope it will continue in this vein this year. And I also wanted to, along those lines, participate in read-alongs and readathons, which I did more or less successfully, and to do at least one buddy read. I have definitely surpassed that, and thank you to Mark from Words Everywhere, Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading, Alan from Alan Morton, even though I utterly failed you, Alan, Tia from Tia and All the Books, Tia and the Books, I'm sorry Tia, and Pauline from Dancing Lawn for buddy reading with me last year, so I definitely accomplished that. Goal number 12 was to get better at technology, and I guess to a certain extent I probably did. I can figure out how to focus this camera now, but I'm not very tech savvy, so these videos will probably remain more or less basic. I have gotten a little bit better at editing, I would say, so that's good. Goal number 13 was to get the Voxer app, because a lot of booktubers use it, so it's a great way to get to know them. And I did get the app, and I struggled with it kind of a lot, and I'm not sure why it's so popular on BookTube. I don't think it's such a great app. I think there's better ones out there, but I'll continue to use it. And yeah, so I did that. Goal number 14 was to write a little bit about the books that I have read on Goodreads, about each book, which I hadn't done previously. And I haven't done it for every book, but I have done it for more books than in the years prior to setting this goal, so sort of semi-accomplished that. Goal number 15 was to go to the... goal number 15 started the goals that weren't BookTube or reading related. And goal number 15 was to go to the gym 104 times in the last year. And the less said about this goal, the better. Goal number 16 was to watch 52 movies that were new to me. Now, I don't think I've accomplished that. I think I probably got around the halfway mark, like 26 movies or something like that. So I could have done better with that. I have watched some series that were new to me, and I do enjoy watching series, usually more than movies. So that's probably part of the reason why I didn't do so well with that goal. And goal number 17 was to travel to 4 more countries until I would turn 30, so that by the time I would have turned 30, I would have traveled to 25 countries. Now, I didn't accomplish it by the time I turned 30, but I did accomplish it in the last year. So last year in August, we traveled for a weekend to Amsterdam, which was the Netherlands, which was a country I hadn't been to prior. So that's one. And then we had our vacation in September, where we traveled to Croatia, Bosnia and Montenegro. And I had been to Croatia before, but I hadn't been to Bosnia and Montenegro, so those were 2 more new countries for me. And then obviously, as I said, at the end of the year we traveled to Vietnam. So I sort of accomplished this goal, even though not quite in the timeline I had set. But I'm very happy with that. Seeing as this video is at sort of nice length, in my opinion right now, I am going to cut it short here, and I will do a separate video on the goals that I've set for 2020. Not only because I don't want this video to get too long, but also because the battery of my camera is dying. Anyway, it's nice to be back, and I hope you all had a really good start to the year, both in bookish matters and also otherwise, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye guys!